Hey, this is Andrew Jones. You watch On Deck with Tyler.
Welcome to On Deck. Please, while you're here, make sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and hit the bell for notifications so that you can be notified about everything I do leading up to the regular season MLB and everything through spring training. So, hope you all enjoyed the first game of spring training. The Braves played the Orioles today, so let's discuss it and hit the hot topics real quick. Now, the hottest topic going into today was, of course, Felix Hernandez. He started the game today against the Orioles, and when that came out, it led to a lot of questions about the ability of King Felix and whether or not he was going to be able to be a starter for the Braves. If you didn't see his interview the other day with Paul Bird, he was very honest about his current condition. He said that, of course, he's lost velocity over the years, and he's not going to act like that's not the case. But he also said that he had a few new tricks, and what he has lost in velocity, he certainly has in movement. If you watched the game today, you know what I'm talking about. If you didn't, go back and watch some of the highlights. You'll see what I'm talking about. In 2 innings and in 28 pitches, he only allowed 1 base runner on a walk, and it seemed to be a solid pitching performance. In his prime, he was a flamethrower, of course, but I think he can evolve into being a successful contact pitcher. He can be a successful starter in that fifth spot if that's the case. There's still a lot of questions, and I know a lot of you are going to say that he hasn't proven anything, but let's give credit where credit's due. He faced Major League hitting. Even if it is the Orioles, he did face Major League hitting. He also is not currently facing any injuries, which he has been facing for the past 3 years, so that is obviously a big improvement. Yes, I understand there are a lot of questions, and if you have questions for me, please make sure to go ahead and comment them. My mind isn't made up on this guy completely on whether or not I think he's going to be the guy, whether or not I'm going to pick him to be the fifth starter, because I'm nowhere near that. So let's give credit where it's due. Say he had a good performance today, because he did, for the Braves, and let me know what you think about it in the comments section. I always get back to you there, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. So make sure you comment. Tell me what you think about King Felix, whether or not there's even a possibility that he can be a starter. I always want to hear from you. Second up, let's talk about some of our key players. Of course, I'm talking about first Ronald Acuna. He led it off per usual, and he had a hard hit ball up the third base side. It's really an interesting way to lead off the game. Hard hit ball to third base, and it was actually a really good play by Orioles third baseman. We all know about Acuna's desire to go 50-50 this year. We've heard about it. I actually did a video on it. You can check it out. It's in the card above. But anyway, hard hit ball down third base side, and he beat the throw on just an awesome play by the third baseman, and he would eventually come to score. So that's always good to see out of Ronald Acuna. We'd expect nothing less, but of course it's always really good to see. Ozzie would walk on his first at-bat. He'd score in the first inning. He got a single to center field in the third inning. Freddie Freeman, you know what you're going to get out of him. Nothing's going to surprise you. He's excited about the season. He's healthy for the first time in a very long time, and he came up with 2 runners on and would walk to load the bases. Just like Ozzie, he would single in the third inning as well. Adam Duvall would actually come up with the bases loaded in the first inning, and he'd actually drive in the first run of the game. Swanson and Inciarte, of course, following him up. They both hit a sac fly, making it 3-0 Atlanta. In the top of the fifth, changes are made. Drew Waters would come in for Ronald Acuna. Shane Robinson in for Adam Duvall. Charlie Culberson, good to see him back. He's in for Dansby Swanson. Christian Pache in for Ender Inciarte. And Yangervis Solarte in for Johan Camargo. So we got our first look at Drew Waters and Christian Pache today, and I'm impressed. Waters walked once and struck out the second time after making it a full count, and Pache would flip that. He'd strike out first after a very long battle at the plate, but then he would walk later in the game. Waters can fly. If you didn't see his first to third today, if nothing else you go look at today, go look at his first to third. He pulled it off with no hesitation, and I think he'll fit into the philosophy of base running that the Braves have very, very well. They are proof that the Braves' future is very bright, and these guys could definitely force the issue and make the Braves bring them up earlier. Now, that's depending on whether the Braves have injuries this year. Double A was actually interviewed in the booth today, and he spoke about it, and he said that these guys could come up if we have an injury and be successful, and I think they can. Now, the other guy I want to talk about, another young guy, Shea Langeliers. He's a little bit different. He actually picked up a hit today, and he's got a quick bat. If you haven't seen him hit in the cage, you'll see what I'm talking about. But the thing that struck me most impressive about him, Eddie Perez was interviewed from the dugout today. And if you don't know who Eddie Perez is, he was a catcher for the Braves back in the 90s. Greg Maddox's personal catcher, actually. And Eddie said that this kid has one of the most impressive arms of a catcher that he's ever seen. If that doesn't get you excited as a Braves fan, I don't know what does. So that's all I got here today from Game 1 at spring training. It'll wrap it up here at On Deck. If you haven't already, like this video, please subscribe and hit the bell for notifications so that you can be notified. I'm doing these type of videos all the way up to spring training. I'm doing feature pieces, all that good stuff. So make sure you subscribe so you can be part of all of it. And of course, again, hit the bell for notifications so that you'll be notified whenever I drop something. So thank you, and I'll see you next time on Deck.